Welcome to the Renegade Nutrition Podcast, where we discuss all things wellness.
I'm Eleni Welch, nutritionist.
And I'm Kay Boyer, health enthusiast. Welcome back, Renegades.
Welcome, Renegades.
Welcome. I'm excited to be able to learn more from you, Eleni. And gosh, I forget what this one's going to be about. That's a joke, friends, because what's our topic?
Cognitive decline.
I'm funny.
But it is funny because you did forget just a minute ago. In real life, yeah.
That's actually very, very true. True. It's like a bird flapping in the wind in the one ear and the other.
Yes, today's topic is how to slow cognitive decline by 60% with one simple supplement.
Oh, I need it. That's a 60%. That's a good number right there. Wow. The ones, is it chocolate?
It's not chocolate.
I just want
although it's really, I will explain why it's funny that you suggested that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But first of all, hello to our listeners in Germany.
Germany. Yeah.
Deutschland.
Yes. That is my heritage.
People. Is it?
Yep. Mostly. Yep.
I have some as well.
Yep. Spanhoot is my last name. My maiden name is actually Sponnet. And this is an interesting fact. There's only like 8 of us in the world.
Really?
I don't know, but it's German. But my brother was an only boy, and my dad was an only boy, and my grandpa was an only boy, and my great grandpa had a brother, but only one of them had kids. So our lineage is just one stick of a tree.
So of the Spanhoots that are carrying on that last name, it's limited.
Yes, they never have 2 boys that reproduce to carry on the name.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, but
I'm glad you told me how to pronounce that, because I think anytime I read it, I said Spanhut.
Spanhut. Yep, and it just spawn it.
Oh, spawn it.
Yep. Well, so the German sound is like, yeah,
Spanhoot.
like the Spanhoot, yes, but
yes.
Spawn it if you, looks like Spanhut.
Huh,
anyway,
okay.
But it's German, so there it is. And I visited with our friend Marie. We went to Munich, Germany, and it's a beautiful country. So,
do you know where your family originates from in Germany?
It was something like in the hills, and they were hat makers from their name.
Wow.
But I don't know what. Yeah, I'm not sure what.
It's kind of idyllic.
Yeah,
living in the hills and being hat makers.
Yes. They do little dances and tip their hat.
Yes.
Or we got Mad Hatters. It's hard to say. Could go either way. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that's, Germany is a part of my heritage. So
near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact about Germany. Germany is a leader in climate and energy policies.
Oh, good.
Germany boasts one of the world's most institutionalized green movements. The country wants to be greenhouse gas neutral by 2045.
Wait, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Oh,
because that is like 20 years away now.
And let's do it. But they're like, it's going to take that long, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, good for
greenhouse gas neutral.
Wow.
Also, here's another fun fact.
Yes.
There are more than 1,000 kinds of sausages in Germany.
Sound amazing. I want to eat them all.
Greenhouse gas neutral and a producer of sausages. That's amazing.
Has anyone tried all 1,000 of those sausages?
I bet. There is an entire museum, the Duchess, I don't know how to pronounce that, Duchess's Currywurst Museum in Berlin, Germany, that is dedicated to currywurst sausage.
It sounds good.
An entire museum dedicated to currywurst sausage.
We need to go sometime.
Eat
all the sausage.
I agree. That sounds amazing. And apparently, I looked this up because I was like, what is currywurst? It is a sausage with curry ketchup.
Oh.
And it is the #1 street food in Germany.
Sounds amazing. Yes.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you, our Germany listeners.
Yes. Thank you for your green initiative and your sausages.
Yes. And if you see a Spanhoot, let me know. They're hiding.
They're hiding. They're going extinct.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. My brother, up to date here, has 2 boys.
Oh.
A lot of pressure for them both to reproduce. So anyway.
They will contribute to the world repopulation of.
They each have like 6 kids.
Yeah.
Just try to have more boys.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well, so today we'll talk about how to slow cognitive decline by up to 60% with one single supplement. Any guesses what that supplement
Yes,
is?
it is chocolate. It's cacao. It's what else could it be? Coconut oil.
Oh, coconut oil.
Did I nail it?
Interesting. No.
Oh, okay.
No. It is a multivitamin.
Flintstone. It is the Flintstones multivitamin.
It's almost the equivalent of. We'll get into that.
Okay, it's pretty close.
I took those multivitamins as a kid, the Flintstones ones.
Oh,
yes.
I love it. I didn't. My mom, no, we were too poor for that. But I'm glad that you have that health in you. That's nice.
They were, I guess at the time, I'm sure now I would be like, oh, these are fine. But at the time, it just tasted like a vitamin in like dissolvable form.
Yes. Okay. And do you like respect the composition of what's inside of them?
Probably not. I mean,
okay. I just wasn't
guess
sure.
I haven't looked them up as an adult, but I don't think I'd buy them for my kids.
Yeah. Well, you know how also the idea of like what you think about what you're eating affects how it affects your body. So there is something to that of like, oh, I'm being healthy. You eat it, you're telling your brain I'm being healthy. So there might be a placebo-y
That's
effect.
true.
So maybe, I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, so a new study was just published in September of 2022, which is recent in the research world for sure.
Yes.
That found that individuals over the age of 65 who took a daily multivitamin and mineral supplement, so multivitamin and mineral supplement, but one pill. Most multivitamins are also multi-mineral. For 3 years, slowed age-related cognitive decline by 60%.
So I do need to be taking this. Oh my Lanta.
So
wow.
With the direction we are currently heading in, 2/3 of Americans will face cognitive decline by age 70, and dementia and Alzheimer's are now the 6th leading cause of death, with rates increasing by 10 to 15% each year.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. So twofold things here. One is the deficiency, right? That people don't have those minerals and those vitamins, but also there's a 40% of like maybe eating too much fructose or,
right.
And not get, so that's interesting that really do take your vitamins, like your body, we do have deficiencies.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, especially probably the majority of Americans who are following a standard American diet, right? Because in our episode with Dr. Natasha, the GAPS episode, she talked about if you're eating nose to tail, meaning you're eating like ancestral meats and organ meats, you shouldn't need a multivitamin, right? But for the like 99% of the population that's not eating that way, even when you eat healthy, the foods we're eating don't have the same vitamin and mineral content that they did 100 years ago because of how we're eroding and depleting the soil health through industrial farming, through monocrop cultures. So even when we're buying healthy foods, we usually still do need a multivitamin. And also because stress depletes our body of minerals and vitamins, and we live in a stressful world.
So stressed in this modern world, we have all these conveniences to not be stressed, and we're more stressed.
But if you're following a diet like the GAPS diet, then you shouldn't need a multivitamin and mineral substance because you're eating like our ancestors did. But there's a lot to that lifestyle too, right?
Yep. And then there's your genetic, like.
Correct.
Yes, like where your body's at, and then the bioavailability of it all. Okay, well, I quit taking my multivitamin. I better start it up again.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay.
So the study was called Cosmos Mind. It was a large randomized 2x2 factorial 3-year trial. So I'll break that down. So first of all, the study was large. It enrolled 2,262 participants.
Nice.
Both men and women, 60% women, 40% men.
Okay.
92% of those participants completed the baseline study and at least one follow-up assessment, which is really good for a study like that.
Yes.
Because normally over several years, you have a lot of participant dropout, whether people get sick or die or or just don't comply.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was randomized, meaning that participants were randomly put into a placebo and treatment group. So researchers weren't like, I think you'll go here and you should go here, right? Like they're not picking themselves, participants, and choosing who goes into what group.
Yeah. That's a bias. Yeah.
Right. Which has bias, which sounds like an obvious control to have in place in a study, but you'd be surprised how many studies don't specify that they were randomized. And if you don't see the word randomized in a study description, then that study is at risk of being biased because you don't know what factors went into determining who went into each group, right? So especially like when things are like double blind, what that means is the researchers and the participants don't know what group they're being placed in. So participants are randomized into groups. The researchers don't know who's in what group.
Yeah.
So
yep.
The 2x2 factorial design means that each participant is randomized to treatment group A or B to address one question, and further assigned at random within each group to treatment C or D to examine a second issue.
Okay.
Permitting the simultaneous test of two different hypotheses. So besides testing the multivitamin and mineral supplement, what was the other thing they tested, Kay?
Chocolate.
Cacao. Yes. Specifically cocoa extract, which they're processed differently. That's not a huge deal, but so they were looking at both the effects of a cocoa extract and a multivitamin and mineral supplement. And they wanted to see how it affected the groups. So that's what the 2x2 factorial design means, is they were able to test both hypotheses by randomizing people into those groups.
I wish I would get the cocoa one.
The researchers assessed their cognition by telephone at baseline and annually.
Okay.
The primary outcome was a global cognition composite formed from mean standardized scores from individual tests, including the telephone interview of cognitive status, word list and story recall, oral trail making, verbal fluency, number span, and digit ordering. So cognitive composite scores, which we mentioned, are used as the primary outcome measures for Alzheimer's disease. So the composite score is typically calculated as the average of 3 different cognition scores. So episodic memory, executive function, and attention processing. So I know that was a lot of alphabet soup, a lot of words, but basically they had a standard protocol of here are the tests we do to assess cognitive decline, to assess whether somebody's developing Alzheimer's disease, and they employed those tests. That's the takeaway you need.
Yep, I like it.
And I won't go into what each test does, right? So they were looking for a change in that composite score over 3 years with treatment of cocoa extract and 3 years of multivitamin and mineral supplementation. Okay, so why cocoa?
Yeah, because it's delicious. Why?
Hey there, Renegades. Eleni here, briefly interrupting this episode of the Renegade Nutrition podcast. I wanted to highlight a company that Kay and I have recently discovered that we love, and that company is Bulletproof. Bulletproof sells high-quality nutritional supplements, and every product that Kay and I have tried from them personally, we have found to be excellent. It's important when you choose a supplement that it contain the bioactive forms in order for it to be effective, and Bulletproof has just the right forms in just the right amounts. Right now, if you go to bulletproof.com and use the code RENEGADE15 at checkout, you can receive 15% off your order. That's Renegade, RENEGADE 15. Use that code at checkout to get 15% off, and we'll earn a small commission too. Thanks for your support. All right, back to this week's episode of the Renegade Nutrition Podcast. So cocoa in its unprocessed forms contains high quantities of catechins and epicatechins, which are a type of flavonoids known as flavanols, and there are modest amounts of those and theobromine, which is an alkaloid extracted from the cacao bean, and caffeine. So those things are also present in green tea, but I think we were more interested in knowing if cocoa could work.
Yes.
So dietary consumption of cocoa flavanols may slow cognitive decline through improved cerebral vasodilation. So meaning that the blood vessels in the brain expand, allowing more blood flow. Perfusion and angiogenesis, which is the formation of new blood pathways.
Okay.
So basically, cocoa can like enhance blood flow to your brain, which could help prevent cognitive decline.
I'm so interested to know what happened. Yes.
So much of the support for cognition enhancing effects of those flavonoids in healthy older adults comes from epidemiological studies and a few small clinical trials. So this was one of the first like big clinical trials. Memory and executive function appear in other studies to benefit the most, particularly with higher amounts of cocoa flavonols. So that's why they wanted to test cocoa. And then why a multivitamin and mineral supplement? So individual micronutrients and minerals always, of course, benefit us because they can target multiple biologic pathways that support normal body and brain function. So, of course, a multivitamin has multivitamins and multiminerals, and those are going to affect a large number of pathways. So it's kind of an obvious thing to do, right? And deficiency of certain nutrients in older adults may increase their risk for cognitive decline and dementia. Trials of single nutrients, so just focusing on one nutrient at a time, such as folate with or without other B vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamin D, have all been done on cognition and all have pretty mixed results, which could be because the supplement itself doesn't have benefit, not so likely, or because of study design issues that impede cross-study comparisons, more likely. And some of those issues, of course, relate to the quality of the micronutrients they're testing and the quantity of the micronutrients they're testing, how they administered the cognitive tests, all that stuff, and individual nutritional status, which would impact it, of course. Additionally, many studies fail to test the highest quality forms of specific micronutrients, which has a huge impact on the study results, which is how we get studies that show things like vitamin A is bad, right? Because people test a bad version of vitamin A, and of course it's synthetic and it's cheap and it doesn't work, as opposed to like the retinol version of vitamin A anyway.
And throw out the baby with the bathwater.
So what were the results of this study looking at cocoa extract and multivitamin and mineral?
You had me on the edge of my seat.
So unfortunately, the cocoa extract had no effect on global cognition in this study, but other studies, it has had an effect, but those studies have been smaller. So obviously repeat studies will be needed. I'm sorry.
Really? So you're saying that me eating all this chocolate or cocoa is not going to help my memory?
But there are other tests that show certain aspects of memory may be helped by chocolate consumption, and it has antioxidant powers, so it has other benefits.
And it tastes good. So okay, I'm gonna keep eating it. That's interesting.
But in this particular study, it didn't have an effect on global cognition. The daily multivitamin and mineral supplementation relative to the placebo resulted in a statistically significant benefit on global cognition. And interestingly, this effect was most pronounced in patients who had a history of cardiovascular disease.
Really? Team multivitamin. This is great.
So the multivitamin supplementation for 3 years improved global cognition, episodic memory, and executive function in older adults. And this is the first evidence we've had from a large, long-term pragmatic trial to support the potential efficacy of a multivitamin and mineral supplement to improve cognition in older adults, because many studies are smaller or don't run for as long as 3 years.
Wow.
So this was a pretty significant study, and maybe one of the first of its kind.
And did they say which kind of multivitamin this was, or brand?
They did. I'm going to get into it.
You know I'm ordering this after that.
You won't. So, but we'll talk about it.
That's funny.
So obviously it's important because it's a heavy burden, right? That cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease and dementia lay on our population. First of all, because it not only is it a burden in terms of financial drain, but it takes away an individual's quality of life and their ability to live independently. And it's really hard for their caretakers because oftentimes the parent or grandparent doesn't recognize them anymore. They often don't know where they are. They can get lost. It's a horrible way for anybody to spend their final years, right? So it's important for us to know anything to alleviate. Right? progression of dementia and Alzheimer's disease is going to be beneficial. So currently, there are no interventions to prevent cognitive decline in older adults that have been approved by the FDA. And there are no proven clinical benefits of any pharmaceutical treatment for adults with mild cognitive impairment due to Alzheimer's disease. So because there are no pharmaceuticals and no approved FDA supplements, why not find something?
Try it, yeah.
A multivitamin and mineral supplement that most people would want to take anyway for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
That could help, right? So plus it's safe, affordable, and accessible for most people.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part. The multivitamin they were testing in this trial was Centrum Silver, which is a relatively low quality multivitamin made by Pfizer. Did you know that Pfizer makes supplements?
Really?
They're not stupid.
They're not stupid.
There's a lot I could say about the fact that Pfizer makes supplements, but I can't say it in this episode or we won't exist on our podcast platforms anymore. And we may not exist on Earth. I mean, we might disappear.
Okay, wait. Well, then they're doing a good thing by making this.
Well, they have an agenda, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're expanding their portfolio because their primary thing is pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
But the world is kind of starting to wake up to that, right? So if pharmaceuticals ever become less of a part of our society, which I pray every day will happen.
Yes.
They have their supplements ready to go for the people who are more consciously health-minded.
Wow. So
I would say that I'm sure there are people there who do believe they're doing a good thing. And I'm also sure there's an agenda with doing it that mostly has to do with money. But,
everything goes.
But also there's probably genuinely good people there doing research who believe that they're helping people. So
that is fascinating.
And it's interesting because that's a really common supplement, that Centrum Silver. But it's not one I typically recommend. Whenever I see that somebody is taking it, I don't recommend it for several reasons. Not the least of which is that it's made by a not very trustworthy company, but mostly because it contains the synthetic forms of a lot of the vitamins. So especially the B vitamins, such as containing folic acid instead of folate, which is folic acid is the synthetic form of B9.
Oh.
Our body does not absorb that form very well. It contains cyanocobalamin instead of methylcobalamin, which is B12, and cyanocobalamin, again, synthetic.
Okay.
Peroxidine hydrochloride instead of the superior P5P form of vitamin B6, and synthetic forms of vitamin C instead of food-based forms of vitamin C, as well as beta-carotene form of vitamin A instead of the more bioavailable retinol form. So basically, it uses cheap synthetic versions. Which
I am going to jump in here, though. It still works.
60%. That's what we're going to get into, right?
Wow.
So even a crappy multivitamin and mineral supplement improved cognition by 60%.
Wow.
So imagine what would happen if you were taking a high quality one.
100% smarter.
The Centrum Silver also contains a component known as BHT, which is butylated hydroxytoluene, which is a toluene-based ingredient used as a preservative in food and personal care product that carries a moderate risk of causing cancer and a high allergen risk. So I don't recommend products that contain BHT because of the negative side effects, and it's not necessary. It also contains weird dyes, including red, yellow, and blue dyes, which we discussed.
Do they put it in there? Why have it in there?
Why? Right. Who cares what color your multivitamin is?
It can be white or gray. It doesn't matter. Whatever natural color it is.
And we talked all about dyes in our food dyes episode, so make sure you listen to that. So basically, it's a cheap multivitamin made with cheap ingredients, but it still worked.
Still stinking worked, Elaine.
To prevent cognitive decline.
More than chocolate.
More than chocolate. More than chocolate. Which who knows what quality of chocolate they were using.
That's fair. That's fair.
I did read that the cocoa extract they were using was provided by Mars Incorporated, which is who makes like Mars bars. So I think they're the company that makes like Snickers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know that that's the highest form of cocoa either, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So that might not have been a good comparison of cocoa, because if you get high quality cocoa that's not moldy, that's,
yes, like of the earth from like Brazil or something,
shade grown and ethically grown and fair trade, whatever.
Yes.
I think that probably contributes. But so just all of that to say, like, literally a high quality multivitamin, like, imagine the multiplicative effects that could have on cognitive decline. So brands I like are Orthomolecular and Zymogen, which are both brands that require you to go through a practitioner to buy their supplements, so they don't sell online. The reason I like those companies is because their whole goal is to have you purchasing their supplements under the guidance of a healthcare provider. But I understand that that's not always convenient. If you have a Fullscript account, you can access companies like Orthomolecular and Zymogen. Actually, Zymogen has their own. It's called Wholescripts. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
Wholescripts and Fullscripts. It's funny to me. But anyway, those are both practitioner guided accounts. So you can buy, they're some of the highest quality supplements that I know of. I also really like the company Thorne, which you can purchase yourself.
Thorne,
online from Thorne's website. Adapt Naturals, Bulletproof, and Quicksilver Scientific. Those are all really good companies that I would recommend for searching for a multivitamin. If you're looking for a good prenatal vitamin, WeNatal is a good company, WeNatal, as well as the ones that I've mentioned already. Or if you want a more food-based multivitamin, what I do I take a lot of food-based vitamins, so I actually don't take a single multivitamin supplement. I take desiccated beef liver capsules, which we've talked all about liver and organ meats and how they contain all the nutrients we need. They are nature's multivitamin. So I take a desiccated beef liver capsule. I buy that from perfectsupplements.com. They have a nice pasture-raised, grass-fed. That's important. If you're going to be eating organ meats, they should be pasture-raised and grass-fed. So I take a desiccated beef liver capsule from them, along with a methylated B-complex vitamin from Orthomolecular, cod liver oil, which has vitamin A and vitamin D, plus all the DHA and EPA and all the fish oils you need, kelp supplements for selenium and iodine, and acerola cherry powder for vitamin C. So that's my like multivitamin.
Whole food. You get
They're
all the
whole
vitamins,
foods, right?
And then like all the hidden minerals that are in there.
Exactly.
Love that.
And then I use the mineral drops from Concentrace. So we have RO water. Anytime you use RO water, it like strips the minerals from the water in the reverse osmosis process. So it's good to add minerals to your water back in. Otherwise, demineralized water like that can actually leach the minerals from your bones. So I use Concentrace. I just buy it on Amazon. Mineral drops, and you just add a few drops to every like glass of water you have, and it puts the minerals back in. So that's my multivitamin and mineral supplement. But I understand that for most people, a single multivitamin is going to be easier. So all the companies I mentioned are good for that. So imagine how much you could decrease your risk of cognitive decline. So by 60%.
Wow.
With a crappy, low quality multivitamin, imagine what you could do with a high quality multivitamin and mineral supplement.
I'm still in awe. This is amazing. Wow. I'm going to like sit with this for half a second. I'm still going to eat my chocolate, but my cocoa. But
and honestly, like I never recommend people just like throw out their mineral. Like if you're taking a multivitamin supplement and it's not one of those companies, or it is the Centrum Silver, obviously it still had an effect. So just finish the bottle that you have. And then when you replace it with something better.
Yeah. Holy cow. This is like so funny to me.
Isn't that mind-blowing?
It is mind-blowing.
So that's a good reason to take your multivitamin and mineral supplement. And remember, if you're eating a nose to tail ancestral diet, that includes oysters and organ meats and all those things, small fatty fish,
then
no, you shouldn't need a multivitamin. But for the majority of people who aren't eating those foods on a daily basis, it would be a good idea to take a multivitamin.
And get it in a supplement. Well, that's amazing. This has, again, convinced me I need to go do a little bit better. So I'm going to. So, well, thank you. Thank you for like this, being aware of these studies and how important the little things are. And this is my reminder to get back on the vitamin train.
Yeah. Anytime I see a study like that comes out, it's really exciting, right? Because that's such a significant effect with such a simple intervention.
Yes. Like that anyone can do.
Anyone can do that.
Yes.
Even if you can only afford a lower quality one, which I will just say with quality, you get what you pay for. Yeah. So I understand that the cheaper vitamins might be more economical, but in the same spin, like if you're getting something really inexpensive, you're not getting the quality ingredients. You're not getting them in the form that are most bioavailable. Your body's not getting the most benefit out of it. So you might be paying 30% of the price of a more expensive supplement, but you're also probably getting 30% of the potential outcome of a more expensive supplement. And just because a supplement is expensive doesn't mean it's high quality, but those companies that I mentioned, I know they all do third-party testing. I know they only use quality ingredients.
Yes.
When we had that episode with Tara Dowd, remember she talked about the crates of herbs.
Yes.
She went and did an inspection with that high quality supplement company, and they had that crate of herbs that didn't pass inspection. And she asked them what they were going to do with it, and they return it to the suppliers, and the suppliers sell those crates of herbs to cheaper supplement companies,
second rate,
that don't care about the quality of their ingredients. So a high quality company is going to inspect their ingredients. They have to pass a series of standardized testing. They have to meet a certain level of like superiority. To me, it's better to pay a little bit more and know you're getting something that's really going to work as opposed to something that will sort of work.
Yep. I agree. And again, we vote with our dollar, and then by buying the more quality, it makes that more of an economy where higher quality is pushed out more. So
and both Thorne and Bulletproof, I know, are very affordable.
Yeah.
In the world of supplements, they're more affordable, and for the high quality
that they are.
Right? They're on the more affordable end.
So, well, thank you again, Eleni. So for our listeners, go and get your multivitamins and go be renegades.
Go be renegades.
Thank you for listening to the Renegade Nutrition Podcast.
Please keep in mind that this podcast is an educational service that provides general health information. The content on this podcast is not a substitute for direct, personal, professional medical care and diagnosis. You should always talk to your doctor before making a dietary or lifestyle change. Go be renegades!
Go be renegades!